Hi, this is Mike with Tractor Mike Q&A. I have a treat today. I got a question on video from John in Park City, Utah. And John said, I'm sending you a video because it's easier to take video than it is to type. And I get that, John. That's why I'm doing Tractor Mike Q&A. I'm going to let his video roll. Check out the view out of his front yard in Park City, Utah. Here it is.
Hello, Mike. My name is John. I've been a big fan for a few years of yours, and have a simple question. I think it's simple, that I thought would be much easier to do a quick video to ask you instead of trying to type all this out. So this is, I live in Park City, Utah, and most of my time I use my tractor out in the yard for cutting hay or doing kind of ranch projects, but you can see this time of year it's not too much hay to cut. We're mostly snow removal. So my question is, on my implement attachment, down here on this attachment bar, you'll see I've got some of these holes that are individual holes, and I've got one that is a kind of a multiple hole, or kind of a slider hole. Hopefully you can see that. My question is, when do I decide to put the pin into one of these single holes or into this particular slider hole? I'm just not sure what drives that decision. And the reason I'm asking is because when I look here at my attachment bolts on my implement, this is my snow blower, you'll see that they start to get kind of sloppy. Right, they get the connection isn't great on them. They start to wiggle around, and they get a lot of play. And I've noticed that in my my bush hog as well as this implement, the snow blower. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with me generally attaching to this open hole versus just one of these single rigid holes. So hopefully that question makes sense. Summary question: when do I use this open hole that would allow some play, some move back and forth, or when do I use one of these rigid holes that would hold it absolutely in place? Thank you, Mike. Appreciate what you do.
Okay, John, to answer your question, well, first off, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know when I would use the you call them sliders. I don't actually know what they're called, those long holes. Every tractor I've ever been around has those long holes. And what I'm telling you, maybe somebody will tell me a use for those. The only use I can think of, if I'm hooking up an implement, you have those fixed holes that don't let the implement swing back and forth. And then those slider holes will let the implement go back and forth. And I think that's causing the problem with your pin. It's your whole machine is whipping back and forth in back of the tractor, and that's causing those pins to get loose. And yeah, it's kind of, over time, that's going to make a mess there. So what I'm going to advise you do is I was always taught growing up as a kid on the farm by Dad, whenever you put that implement back there, you put those pins in where that thing doesn't go from side to side. And if you don't, some tractors have turnbuckles there that you have to twist. You want that implement, I like just a little play in it, but I don't like very much play in it. And if you don't do anything, your implement will go into your tires. And the tires, I've seen tires boogered up because guys didn't know they were supposed to do that, and it eats the rubber off the side of the tires. And if you do that on a new tractor, that's not covered under warranty. So I recommend that you put those are called stabilizers, and you put those stabilizers in the holes that match so that implement won't move back and forth. If it moves just a little bit, that's okay, but it's fixed back there. And I think your problem with your pins will go away at that point. And I honestly, the only time I can possibly think you'd want those long holes to put your pin in there, if you had trouble lining everything up with a hole just exactly, which I've never had that, you get one side with a fixed hole, and you go to the other side and you can't line it up. And usually there's enough play in those stabilizers, you can move it in and out without moving the implement. Just kind of grab the ends and move it in and out, and get the pin in the hole, and it will line up. But that's what I do. I'd be curious if anybody has any application where those long holes or sliders are where you put the pins. Any of you guys want to send me a video with your question on it, that's great. And if you want to show a little bit of your place, that's awesome too. I don't know anybody's going to have any prettier place than John has there in Park City, Utah, but feel free to send me your video and we'll examine your question from the video. Thanks for watching.